Now I would like to invite our guest speaker, Danny Smrokowski, up to speak. Daniel Smrokowski is a Special Illinois athlete and student Shriver International Global Messenger. Daniel is a award-winning and veteran broadcast of 14 years, columnist and a acclaimed advisor telling disability stories to groundbreaking global performance Special Chronicles, reaching hundreds of people each month. As a design media creator, a artist, broadcast, video blogger, and public speaking to give respect and videos to people with special needs. Daniel's education informed our community that those who with a different ability become unconditional love and joy each day. Even through communication is Daniel's biggest struggle. It has been his biggest passion. Daniel will be speaking up to us today about what we can learn from our challenges overcoming his leadership journey. Here's a sizzle reel to get us ready for Daniel.
Welcome back to the Special Chronicles show. My name is Daniel, founder of Special Chronicles and a Southern Shriver International Global Messenger with Special Olympics. We welcome Matthew West, award-winning single-songwriter, lifetime Grammy nominee, and Atkinson, 23-year Special Olympics Colorado athlete leader. Today I'm in the program welcoming title and Michael, the director and writer from the keynote. Welcome to Special Chronicles. What's been your favorite part of being here this week?
I think my favorite part is truly just watching the enthusiasm from the athletes themselves, the camaraderie of watching them all work together.
Why did you want to compete in Special Olympics?
Well, to definitely make everlasting friendships and to challenge myself a little bit better as a leader, a friend, and all things awesome in the Special Olympics movement.
A lot of lessons that our community and listeners could learn from the game. What lesson do you hope that the community learns from us athletes?
Never underestimate what someone can do.
Tell us about how we, this nonprofit organization that you co-founded with your there.
Basically, my dad helps to run it. And what we do is we send out just inspirational devotions to people every week. They get an email that has just an encouragement for them.
What does inclusion mean to both of you for making this film and in society?
It means just loving people. It's really common, I think, in this day and age, and I mean, it's hard to company for people to be divided or to see differences. And it's really important for me for people to see commonalities and ways to get along, and that's sort of one of the themes of our movie, and also the fact of making the movie feels like that as well. So inclusion to me is just love. I was gonna say the exact same thing, word for word.
Please welcome Daniel Smrokowski.
Is it on? Hello, Special Olympics. This is Zoe. How did everyone enjoy lunch? This is my first time visiting the Campus for Life and the Zoe. It's an honor to be speaking with you all today. This afternoon, as I tell you my journey of turning my biggest challenge into my greatest reward. Your lone harm, because of the Special Olympics movement, we can learn from our challenges and adapt to a new set of circumstances. Before I share with you about the beginning of my story in Special Olympics, I'd like to share with you where I am today. Today, I am a Special Olympics Illinois athlete leader. And I'm also proud to be one of 10 athletes who sold Special Olympics International as a Southern Shriver International Global Messenger. Among the 10 of us, I, along with 2 women, represent our North America region. Today, I am also a digital media creator. That's what I do. I am an award-winning and veteran podcaster of 14 years, columnist, advocate, and founder of Special Chronicles, telling disability stories with a mission to give respect and voice to people with special needs. This occurs on my groundbreaking global platform, specialchronicles.com, which at all your tables, you can scan the QR code to listen and subscribe to my weekly podcast that drops every Monday at 6 p.m. Central Time. And also, that's why one of the live streams is for my mailing list. And actually today, this will be recorded. You all will be a part of the 500th episode. Also today, I am employed by United Airlines. We saw in that sizzle wheel, you saw the lady in white. She is the president of Bridge, United Business Resource Group, that is connecting people of all abilities. And Captain Jill Mills is a good friend, and she is the chief pilot for the Washington, D.C. hub. United Airlines has been a partner with Special Olympics Illinois for many years. United Airlines is also a global partner with Special Olympics International. I work as a customer service ambassador based at Chicago O'Hare Airport. You might have seen me, or will see me, if you fly through O'Hare Airport. I'm lucky in that a lot of what I do today lets me use much of what I learned in college. When I'm doing athlete leadership or volunteerism, I get to apply journalism and social justice, which I pursued at Roosevelt University in Chicago. I graduated from Roosevelt University in 2012 with a bachelor's degree in journalism. Similar to Andrew and similar to another former staff member that I'm sure a lot of you know, a mutual friend, Brandon. So shout out to Brandon, who's no longer here, but my journey can be summarized in one statement. Communication is my biggest struggle, but it's also my biggest passion. Communication, as everyone knows, is one of the important means that we use to relate to each other as humans. Communication as everyone knows, is one of the important means that we use to relate to each other as humans. But for myself, my focus on my leadership journey is communication in the form of spoken or written words. I know a few of you will be graduating with a communications degree in your athlete leadership programs. So I know a lot of you understand how important communication in the form of spoken or written word is. My personal mission in life is to educate and inform our community that those of us with different abilities, myself, the other athletes here today, across your state, back home in Illinois, across the country, and the over 6 million other athletes across the globe in 195 countries, that we bring unconditional love and joy every day. In other words, we have a lot to share. Like many or most athletes in Special Olympics, I started participating in sports. I've mostly done swimming and basketball. But in my very early elementary schools, I would come home from school in tears because a lot of my classmates didn't understand. At first, the sports were a way to make friends. And then athlete leadership became a new way to be involved with the movement. And my life has never been the same. So it started with sports, as I'm sure a lot of you know, the movement of Special Olympics trains us for life. Trains us for life. So that's why I'm honored again to be here at your new Training for Life campus. Athlete leadership, which at first was mostly given speeches, similar to today, and doing meet and greets, like shaking hands, like I shook Anna and Alan's hand coming on stage. Tied in perfectly with my new love of podcasting. Again, that's why there's a microphone in front of the stage. In 2008, I started a podcast called Special Chronicles. Again, you can scan the QR code on your tables, the link to listen and subscribe. Special Chronicles has grown in the past 14 years to be more than a podcast. It's a platform which gives respect and voice to people with special needs. On the platform, Special Chronicles produces award-winning podcasts, columns, blogs, and live stream videos, similar to the live stream video that we're doing today. It has reached thousands of people each month globally. Many of the people I have interviewed on the podcast are part of the Special Olympics movement, either as athletes, unified colors, coaches, volunteers, family members, staff, or sponsors. Like, for example, in that scissor wheel, one of my guests and really good friends, fellow SSIGM, Hannah Atkinson from Colorado, she actually won an Emmy Award. And another example, Captain Jill Mills, United Airlines is one of our big partners. All these folks have shared their voice with me and our listeners. Let me take a sip of water. I always have auto when I'm podcasting, and as you know, I think one of the projects that you hopefully saw in the back was about hydration, and we know with our healthy athletes that hydration is important, so that's why I felt auto. So another tip, if I can just remind you all, I'm sure you talk to any health professional, you know about the Fit 5, but 5 bottles of water a day. Hopefully that was okay to mention that. I'm grateful to be an athlete leader. Special Olympics Illinois has given me a bunch of ways to grow, be engaged as an athlete leader. First, I serve as co-chair of our Athlete Leadership Council, which involves bi-weekly executive athlete leadership team meetings, and hosting the quarterly statewide Athlete Leadership Council meetings. I also co-facilitate athlete leadership trainings in the new SOI curriculum. And I'm also part of the team that administers orientation for new board members. This came out from our Unified Leadership Workshop in Dublin, Ireland, that we were the only U.S. program to attend a few years ago, and I think we might be one of the only programs to have an athlete like myself to actually administer and host the orientation for our new board members. On the global stage, I have the huge honor of serving a multi-year appointment as a Sargent Shriver International Global Messenger, or SSIGM for short. There are 10 of us, 3 from North America, so including myself in Illinois, including Texas and Colorado, 7 other countries, including Brazil, Great Britain, Zimbabwe, Kuwait, Pakistan, the Philippines, and Hong Kong are also represented. So big shout out to my fellow SSIGMs. It's really, like in our 1 week of training in Washington, D.C., I knew a couple of them before going there, but we all met for the first time, and we bonded as one SSIGM family in a week. As an SSIGM, I got to travel to the Abu Dhabi World Games in the United Arab Emirates in March 2019. There I got to interact with a lot of people at dignitaries from all over the globe. One highlight I will share with you, there's a lot, and I did a live podcast there. I wrote a blog about my experience there. But I know the ceremony today, we've got a lot of awards to give out, so I'll be brief and share with you one highlight I will share was I got to spend time with Olympic speed skater Apollo Ono, the most decorated U.S. Olympic athlete. Great fun. I got to have lunch with him and his dad. I also was able to participate in an exhibition skating lesson with him, except we were on roller skates. But it was still fun. You can watch or listen to my podcast conversation with Apollo Ono on specialchronicles.com/podcast 385. Or once again, the staff is displaying it. Scan the QR code. And when you scan the QR code, do a search for episode 385 with Apollo Ono, and you can listen to hear Apollo share some great advice and great stories. So I highly recommend you listen to that episode with Apollo. My appointment is still ongoing, and I will travel to Berlin for the World Summer Games in June 2023. I'm looking forward to learning more about my role as best as I can at the World Games. I'm sure one will probably be doing podcasts for Special Olympics International, but my schedule will be probably jam-packed. So I'm looking forward to heading to Berlin into 2023. Let me take another sip of water. Stephen Hawking said, disability need not be an obstacle to success. Like everyone else on the planet, with and without disabilities, I've had my challenges and sometimes defeats. One of my biggest challenges is that people don't always understand my speech. I know now I'm speaking slowly. Thanks to my speech coaches and my mom, even with the FaceTime last night to go over this speech. I often have to repeat things over and over and over and over and over and over. Sometimes, if there was a difficult word to say, I have to quickly think of an easier word to say. With these language difficulties, people think I'm stupid. Math concepts, as in handling money, for example, always trip me up. So I have to make sure people don't cheat me with money. That's why I'm glad another sponsor, Bank of America, who sponsors SSIGM and a big sponsor for athlete leadership, they have a vital money habits training that I've taken a few times. And so that's just a plug for Bank of America. Sometimes my challenges mean I don't succeed. For example, at a big second-hand store, I asked for the responsibility to be a cashier multiple times. And I know I could have won the job, but to my humiliation, the management overlooked me time and time again. In the face of this defeat, I had to tell myself, you win some, you lose some. But I know I did the right thing by asking repeatedly for more responsibility. So I have held my head high going into my next job at United Airlines. Again, one of our global, should know this, platinum sponsors, Special Olympics International. And by the way, United Airlines featured me on the onboard in-flight entertainment system during National Disability Employment Awareness Month last year. So honor. Yeah, if you look, once again, if you scan the QR code and do a boy, do I hope our listenership goes up. If you scan the QR code and do a search in our Unified at Work series, which is sponsored by United's Bridge Business Resource Group, the episode with Toby and Jessica, Toby is the Chief Operations Officer at United, and Jessica is the Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer. That episode, which you can listen or watch, is the episode that played on all United flights. So the podcast, I'm sure every one of you is going to be scanning and listening when you're exercising, walking, driving, has been played in the friendly skies. Which the friendly skies, perfect company, perfect airline to hire us athletes. And I'm proud to be one of the original OG, one of the original athletes that United hired 3 years ago. So if you're flying on United and in Chicago at O'Hare International Airport, you can stop by and say hello. So I guess the 3 big things I've learned as I face my own challenges are: you win some, you lose some. Always hold your head high and keep asking for more responsibility. I've also learned that for success, I have to work hard, be really dependable, tolerate a long commute on the bus. I'm sure if a lot of you have long commutes, you can scan the QR code podcast. It helps make time go by fast. Ask for help when needed, and not be afraid to toot my own horn. With the successes I've had, I try to bring my friends along so they succeed as well. For example, like I'm sure a lot of you athlete leaders have done this. I mentor other athlete leaders through athlete leadership training. We've got our 2nd annual leadership academy in about a month. And then on my Special Chronicles podcast network, which, if you guys know what National Public Radio is, it's the NPR for those of us with disabilities. On my Special Chronicles podcast network, I try to give opportunities to other Special Olympics athletes to take over as hosts of podcasts, to write blogs on SpecialChronicles.com website, and to be featured on their own shows. From New York, athlete Katie Sanchez has written blogs on SpecialChronicles.com. My girlfriend Georgia, who has Down syndrome, Georgia's the one in the middle, but it could have blown things up a little bit. But she's the one in the middle wearing the headphones on the postcard at the tables. She hosts her own cooking show, Georgia's Kitchen Show, that is linked on SpecialChronicles.com and co-hosts the Georgia and Daniel Show. Which the Georgia and Daniel Show is where we share stories about our life from a different angle. So again, scan the QR code on your table, and in addition to the Special Chronicles show, you can listen and subscribe to the Georgia and Daniel Show. From Illinois, athlete leaders Lisa and Coach co-host the Amazing Individuals podcast that is part of Special Chronicles Network. And again, just like your staff Paul, just right now, scan the QR code. You all can do that and find also links to the Special Chronicles show, the Georgia and Daniel show, and the Amazing Individuals podcast. Also in Illinois, we're collaborating with fellow athlete leaders to simulcast a new athlete-led podcast series, Meet to Be Inspired, which features dynamic individuals who are doing great things in support of Special Olympics Illinois. I also want to mention another athlete leader that I've collaborated with from which a lot of you will know, right here, from your state of Special Olympics, Missouri, athlete, two-time USA Games athlete, Glenn Campbell. You as a guest. You might remember the episode number, but when you've done 14 years, 500 episodes, I forgot the episode number. But again, scan the QR code on the table, do a search for Glenn Campbell. You find that podcast episode just before he went to New Jersey USA Games in 2014. And that's right, they'll have some fact checks. And I featured him when I wrote an award-winning newspaper column called Special Voices. Column I think was featured, and so that should also be linked as well. And after today, there'll be a lot more guests and stories to share. Before we close it out, we get another sip of water again. Step 5, hydration. Okay, a little note to somebody might need, when I come off stage, I might need another bottle of water. Either my business manager, mentor, somebody, I don't know. All right. Albert Einstein said, everything that exists in your life does so because of two things. Something you did or something you didn't do. As you leave this leadership summit, what will you do to overcome your challenges and rise to success? Let me repeat that if you want to jot that down. In your program, on your phone, what will you do to overcome your challenges and rise to success? Think about that. Talk with your mentor. Talk with one of the staff. What will you do? What will you do to overcome your challenges and rise to success? From the bottom, I finished. See? Like clockwork. Let me just say, not just in Illinois, not just in Missouri, internationally, the staff of Special Olympics, your mentors, your parents, look out for you when you say that you need more water. Oh, it's nice, ice cold water. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you to Carol, Andrew, and all of you. Thank you for the opportunity to be here with you today. Just like I have never given up from defeating my challenges and rising to success, I hope you will continue to rise up to be the best leader you can be. just remind you, you probably know, scan the QR code, listen and subscribe to our podcast on Special Chronicles on demand, anytime, anywhere. And boy, over 8,000 average listeners per month. I hope all listeners grows. And you can help, not only you in this room, but you can share with your friends. Share, rate and review on Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast, rate and review, share, help us. Help us for all stories. My story, stories of my fellow athletes, this movement, share. So more people can hear our story, can hear about the love and joy that those of us with different abilities bring every day. And that they truly, our listeners can truly join the inclusion revolution, can truly, fully accept and include us. Have a great weekend at the Leadership Summit. A big congratulations to all the athlete leader graduates, and have a great weekend. Thank you.